investing is a scam. The whole modern economy is a scam. Why? Because the whole monetary system is flawed and you're just barely kept afloat. And if you don't, if you stop pedaling for a moment, then you're going to be sinking. And that's it. That's how it works. Let me show you why, right? And just me chat GPTing here, nothing too special. So how much did the USD lose in purchasing power in the US dollar in the last 100 years, right? And it's pretty good at calculating this stuff. And yeah, I just show you the formula, and basically it lost 95% of purchasing power, right? So when you count in inflation, how much does $5 would have bought you 100 years ago? It's somewhat what $100 would buy you now. Maybe even less. Maybe less. Maybe you need more. Anyway, so $1 would be now in today's cost about $20. So I think the math was correct on that one. So it's 1 to 20, right? 1 to 20 that it lost. So if your great grandfather had $5 100 years ago, that's exactly how would be if you would have $100 now. That's what this says. I think the numbers are a bit skewed, and it would probably even purchase more back then. But nonetheless, that's what this tells us, right? And here's the calculation. What is that in annualized loss in percentage of inflation per year? Now, this is not how it goes, because then there are wars, there's money printing and jumps up, then money printing goes down and slows down, but whatever. On average, that means if you calculate this out, that means that it lost roughly about 2.9% per year, right? So that means you're losing 3% per year, every year, compounding every year from the last year of purchasing power. So you keep on losing 3%. That is what, like, the ship is sinking at that rate. So there's a big hole and the ship is sinking that rate. So what you need to do is you need to constantly use buckets and pour the water out. Don't plug the hole. The Federal Reserve is the hole. But basically what you're doing is you're using the buckets and pouring them out. You're working. You're constantly working. You have to work. And there's no stopping, right? There's no stopping. You never get to that good old retirement age, because if you just stop working and you don't make new money, then you're sinking. So that's why you have to work until you're like 80 or 70, and then you're sinking. But it's okay, because it's okay at that point, and eventually we'll all end and you go back to God. And that's what they call modern life for you, unless you do something else. So finally you woken up that this is a rat race, and let's just calculate the numbers. Okay, so then let's just take a look at the Dow Jones. How much does it make per annum for the last 25 years, right? That's roughly 25 years is kind of a good number. That's how we calculate, like, ages of who's the most productive in the economy. Was it the millennials? Is it Gen Z? Is it Gen X before that? Who's the most productive age? So let's just say 25 years. So the Dow Jones industrial average gained approximately 209% in the last 25 years. That's great, isn't it? Wow, you doubled your money, or tripled your money in this case, right? So that's perfect. But what does this annually mean, right? So if you left your money there for the last 25 years, that means that basically, how can I make this? Oh, there you go. Basically, that means you gained 4.62% per year, right? So that means on average you made 4.62% per year, right? That's not much. They say, oh, it's 8%, 8%. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. If you calculate the right times and they kind of skew the numbers where you start, when you stop. But average, this is the number. That's the number on average. So what does this mean, right? So 4.26 minus, take a look at 2.95. 2.95. So how much is that? Okay, you want to see? That's 1.67%. So all you smart people who say timing the market beats timing the market, that's what you make. 1.67%. If you would have sound money, not inflatable crap money, right? But you would have, let's just say, gold or silver or something that no one can inflate at a higher rate. Even gold inflates somewhat because they bring out more and more from the ground, but roughly it's just like 2% inflation. But let's just say if it would never inflate, that would mean that if you have $100 and you give $100 to your drunk uncle for 1 year, and finally your drunk uncle brings that $100 back. Here you go, son. Sorry, I needed that back then, and now I'm not sober but drinking less. Here's your $100 back. And you say, wait, Uncle Stu, I want another $1 and 65 cents or 67 cents. And he just says, yeah, sure. Let me. Here's $2. You would have been better off with giving $100 to your drunk uncle and him giving back to you an extra $2 if the currency would not inflate than the Dow Jones making 209% for the last 25 years with an inflatable currency like all the fiat currency there's out there. Nothing ever moves, man. Nothing ever moves. It's a constant cycle for you to be in the loop, to produce. So if you're thinking that you're gonna get rich without getting lucky or without actually knowing how to invest or timing the market, not investment advice, but I think you're crazy. And that's what just it is. The way you can bring this or move this forward is by you being an entrepreneur and actually producing items, software, whatever you name it, services that other people need, and they giving their hard-earned inflated money to you faster than the rate that the government is inflating the currency. That's the only way how you can get rich, bringing more value into the economy than taking out. That's the only way. There's no tricks to it. And now what you do with that money is hopefully store it in a currency that doesn't inflate at this rate, right? So basically buying stuff that you're gonna need in the future. That's the only way to get forward. But even then, you're taxed. So then now you have to think about like bringing at a profit rate where you can actually still be profitable once that tax has been taken out to fund wars and whatever they fund with taxes, your taxes now. And usually it's just actually used to pay off the previous generation's debt. So there's no way out. Nothing ever moves, and you're delusional if it does. Just bring more value to the marketplace. That's the only way how you can get rich. But you can get rich. And what will end it all, I think, is going to be price controls. Because once they put price controls, then they kill your incentives to go against the big guys and be able to compete with them. Because actually the inflation is needed to some degree in the current economy, because it's always guaranteed that the loan you took is going to be cheaper to pay back. So that's what the big guys do completely, always all the time. They work off of big loans that they get, right? loans that you and I would not be able to get. That's how they build the factories. That's how they build everything. And then purchase everything from you with the money that you loaned them to your loved government, right? But price control will kill it all, because eventually this inflation gets to that price and then shortages appear. Ask me how I know. I grew up in Soviet Romania. Not quite, but I was definitely born under communist Romania. And I remember standing in line for bread because it was shortages. So, and it was all because of price controls. And looks like people never learn. So if any country implements price controls, the best thing to do is move out of that country. All right, talk to you next time.